there, it's Jean Greer at Stylish Fireplaces, and I am wearing my retro black and white this morning to highlight one of our no construction fireplaces, the Napoleon Stylus. As you can see, it is an asymmetrical design. It is in black and white, but this is a really neat piece for people who want a fireplace in a spot where they really don't want to do construction, or maybe you can't do construction. So let me tell you a little bit about this unit and why it's one of our favorite no construction pieces. First of all, the design. I personally really like the asymmetrical design, and I love black and white. So what's not to like about this Stylus? It is fully functioning like every electric fireplace. You've got flames with or without the heater, and there is a heater built into this. So the heat would come out the heat vent that's tucked up here. The other thing I want to say before we get too far is this is mounted a little higher than I would like to see it in somebody's home, but we are a showroom, so we do have to make use of our vertical space as well as our floor space. So this is a little higher. I really see this unit being somewhere around maybe 30-36 inches off the floor. Generally, I wouldn't put this lower than that, but I have had clients who've done that, and you know, to each their own. It depends how you want to use it. I like this unit on its own. I don't like to see this with a TV above necessarily. Maybe staggered with the TV off to one side to kind of reinforce that asymmetrical look, but I don't like to see the TV directly above this unit. Having said that, it does have this really nifty shelf along the right-hand side. And what's neat about this shelf is that there's a double USB port there, so you can charge your devices. So this would be a really cool unit, I would say, in place of a table next to your front entrance. So if you've got that bare wall when you come in, and normally you might put a nice console table with a lamp, why not put something like this there instead? You've got light, you've got an interesting feature, and you've got a really neat little platform here to tuck away your devices as you come and go. If you park your phone here, if you can live without it while you're in the house, and you can park it there and have it recharging, and then when you run out the door in the morning, it's ready to go. There's also a nice little light feature here. I don't know if you can see, there's a light here, and that light can be turned on or off, but if you wanted to put something more decorative there than just charging your phone, you could put that there, and then the light would highlight it. I'm going to step out of the frame and just show you how the colors on this unit change. Napoleon flames do tend to change color from orange to yellow to blue, or combinations. And then they've also put color underneath the crystals so that you can play with what I call the disco lights and change things up, especially in the warm weather. You want to have this on, but you don't want it to feel so much like a fireplace. You can play around with those colors. So let me just step out and let you see the colors without me blocking the view. So as you can see, you can change the flame colors, you can change the crystal colors by changing the LED lights underneath. Everything on the electric fireplaces these days is LED, so you have something that's not using a lot of power. I hear that question all the time: how much does it cost? Electricity is expensive in my area. But they just don't use that much power. Only when the heater is on do you use any real quantity of electricity. And even at that, it's very limited. So for most people, this is going to run every day of the year, with and without heat. Maybe it would use $100 worth of electricity for the whole year in our area, which is in the sort of Greater Toronto area. So there's a really neat calculator actually on Napoleon.com where you can do an electric cost calculator. So you plug in the cost of electricity in your area and how much you think you're going to use it with or without heat, and then it will tell you how much it should cost you for a given period of time. So again, this is called Napoleon Stylus, It is available one way and one way only. They don't make it reversible. I've had that question, so I can't have the ledge over here and the fire over there. This is open. So the only situation I don't like to see this used is people with little kids or really pesky pets who might nose around and want to play with these crystals because they can access it. What I like about that is it means there's no glass here to create any glare. So it has its advantages, but obviously there are situations where this just isn't going to work very well for a busy family, let's say, with kids or like I said, really nosy dogs or cats that might want to play around with this. Otherwise, I think it's a great piece for people without construction in mind. It's really cleverly designed so that if you're able to have the power directly behind the unit, it's actually got enough of a recess back there to have the power connected directly behind, and that's not always the case with a wall-mounted fireplace. And as I said, I would normally place this a lot lower, and so even if you have to have the cord running down to an outlet nearby, if you're putting it lower to the ground, you could certainly find a way to cleverly disguise the cord. And Napoleon generally supplies a cord cover to hide the cords that have to be visible in certain situations. So Napoleon Stylist, it's one of our new group of curated products on our website specifically for people who are looking for a stay-at-home project or a DIY project where no construction would be involved. And you just mount it on the wall, plug it in, and start enjoying it right away.